So, folks, it's an illness that I'm sure none of us like to get, even though I think everybody get it about 400 times in their life. It's called the flu, and it's the start of the flu season, I'm told, and we have medical practitioner Dr. Stefan Nunes to tell us what we can expect. Morning, Doc. How are you?
Not bad, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Give thanks. Welcome to Smile.
Thank you.
I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a mild illness. I do that deliberately. Everybody get it so often. Why?
Okay, so when we speak about mild, that's only a small part of the spectrum. With most of the illnesses, we have mild, moderate, and severe. The issue with when we say the word flu is just the number of illnesses that can encompass. When we speak about flu, that speaks usually specifically to influenza,
right,
which is one of many that come under the category of influenza-like illnesses.
Okay.
Additionally, with COVID, RSV, dengue. So when we say we have flu, it could easily be any one of those.
But flu in itself, by itself,
yes,
is a mild illness, even though it can lead to other major illnesses.
Correct. Usually mild. We usually get over it. You can get over it without doing much, most times, and without much treatment. Even though you might be a little bit miserable if you don't add anything, your home remedies.
Yeah.
There are a few populations where it might take a higher burden or a higher toll on. These are people who are pregnant, elderly people who we consider to be over the age of 65, less than 5, people who have an immune system that is already troubled, so people living with HIV, people on chemotherapy, individuals who have chronic diseases that are left unchecked, so obesity, asthma, sinusitis. These people, if they get the illness, it tends to take a higher toll and it tends to take longer for them to recover.
Yeah. COVID came around. We learned so many things from that. We got vaccinated, we got boosters, and then we still get it again. Yes. Same thing with the flu vaccine. Why wouldn't the vaccine stop you from getting it for the rest of your life?
Another issue with viruses is that they like to change their MO, so the way of doing their unscrupulous activities. So if we were to consider them like criminals, in the same way that they change their ways so that they're less likely to be caught, the virus does the same thing.
Yeah.
So last year's vaccine might not work in the same way as this year might work, because we look at the patterns of the most likely viruses to trouble us in a particular period. The flu season is usually between September and March, and which they tend to look at what likely will affect us.
Why that time of year? Is because of the rainy season, because of pollen? Why that time of year?
It's really a combination of things. So one, with the increase in the rainy season, we tend to do a lot more indoor activities, and so we tend to be more huddled together. No, it's the way that we get this virus is by droplets. So sneezing, coughing, contact. Somebody gets sick, they touch a surface, you touch that surface and touch your nose, your mouth, your eyes. Then you get it. And then part of that issue is you can pass it on to other people without you showing signs of being sick.
Because you don't even know that you have it.
Correct.
But is the vaccine the way to go?
Definitely. It is one of the easiest ways to help mitigate. It prevents you. It decreases the chances of you getting it. It decreases the chances of you passing it on. And if you get it, it reduces the chances of it moving to the severe and the moderate type of illness. So then it increases the chances of it staying mild.
And you have to get it every year? Or?
Every year is the recommendation. It's free in the health centers.
I know, Doc, but every single year you have to go for that something, yeah?
Yes, man. It's highly recommended. And in addition to the safe practices, so we'll be drawing back in that notebook with the notes, hand sanitization, social distancing as best as possible. If you're sick, you're sick, you stay home and you're cleaning. So remember your high contact surfaces, your levels, your doorknobs, your light switches.
Some of us don't do anything till something do us.
True.
And you hear, take your vitamin C. I mean, going in the sun, exercise and stuff. Is there anything that can stop you from getting this something?
The short answer is no, there's nothing that can stop, but certainly what we discussed before will help to reduce the chances. You'll be surprised. And
if you do that with enough vitamin C and stuff, as you said, if you get it, you're probably going to get rid of it a little quicker.
Yes.
You mentioned immune system. It is something that I don't think anybody in the world understands but doctors. Is there a way to boost your immune system that, again, would mitigate you getting this thing every time somebody sneezes, you have flu? What can you do for that?
All right. So for most of us, we stick to eating properly, getting your fruits and vegetables in. Half the time it has most of the vitamins, the minerals that you need. That's one. Diet, proper diet, exercise. And for people with the chronic diseases, be on top of your game with your medication. Make sure that it's controlled so you put yourself in the best condition.
Right. So I hear if you sneeze and have a little fever, flu. If you sneeze and have a little fever, dengue. If you sneeze and have a little fever, COVID. How I know what is what?
Well, the only true way to know is by doing the tests, the blood tests or the swabs as we need to. So when it reaches past a certain point, you realize that the fever is not checking, or worse, you get the fever, it goes away, when it returns, you find that you're not feeling yourself. The muscle pain is to the point that you can no longer move. It's time to come in. Once you have those feelings, vomiting, diarrhea is not stopping, time to come in. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, because some people I say, boy, I get up this man and the whole of my body just mash up. And I say, yeah, man, it's the flu. But not necessarily.
Not necessarily, Neville. But you know, people tend to know their body. So if you know, knowing that something is off is the first step. Sitting on it for too long a period of time without trying anything to help it is a bad idea.
Yeah.
So if you know that you've tried your Panadol, which is what we recommend as baseline, until we know exactly what it is we're dealing with, and it's not working, 10 days, 12 days happening, and there's no improvement, come in.
Yeah. You have hurricane season, but you don't always have a hurricane. Flu season, do you see genuinely that a lot more people get the flu during the flu season, or not necessarily?
We see that a lot more people tend to get influenza-like illnesses, whether it is the flu proper.
During that?
Yes.
During that time?
Yes, during that time. Not to say that you can't get it year-round.
I understand. But it actually jumps up during that time.
Yes.
And again, you can't stop that.
No.
Really?
No, you can't.
Ow! What should I have at home? What should I have at home? As you said, you know, if it's going on too long, see the doctor, and I accept that, and you should. But what should you have at home? You know, get a little sniffles, and you don't really feel anything wrong just yet. What should you have at home to kind of stop it in its tracks?
Okay, so it's all symptom-based. So if it is that for fever and joint pain, you're Panadol. Because for other NSAIDs, other types of pain medication, it might make the condition worse if it is not the flu.
Because they say if it's dengue, certain things that you would have take for flu, you don't take for dengue.
You can't. It will make the illness worse.
Wow.
Yes.
So you should have Panadol at home.
Yes. Other than that, you do the home remedies work with the symptoms. So your saltwater gargles help to soothe the throat. Your honey mixtures with the turmeric, certainly they help to soothe some of the symptoms.
Honey with turmeric.
Yes, the gargles that we were all taught and told to try. And
But it don't necessarily get rid of it.
It does not. It only helps with the symptoms. So you sleep a little better, the vape rub that helps you to breathe a little bit better during the night. So it doesn't cure it, but it certainly makes the process of clearing it much more manageable.
Yeah. I know they say dengue, and we've lost people. We've lost people with COVID. And I was reading that you can lose people with flu, but I didn't know that it can get that bad, just the flu itself. I'm not talking about it leading to other things, but just the flu itself. I didn't know it can get that bad that you can actually lose your life.
Yes, it can, and just because of the nature of how viruses work, if left unchecked, it affects your breathing, it affects every organ system in the body.
Yeah. Final word to the folks watching this morning, just looking at camera there and tell them all go on. My
final word would be to remind you of how easy it is to prevent or reduce the chances of getting the flu. Simple things like vaccination, your hand sanitization, your social distancing. If you know you're sick, you stay home. You can try your remedies, but if you find that these symptoms are not clearing, it's time to head to the doctor so we can help you further.
Thanks, my friend. Good to see you.
My respect, sir.
Medical practitioner, Dr. Stefan Nunes. 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.